Ooh-wee. There always tends to be. Hold on a second. Oh, goodness. Uh-oh. Hold on. I was trying to copy something. Oh. Hold on, y'all. All right. See, I was going to do something else and ended up doing something different. Look at this. Look at God. Oh, wait. Let me do this too. Hold on a second. Hold on, y'all. See, it's crazy how life gets busy. Because I'm sitting here trying to copy this to blah, 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 and then I see other things, and it's like blah, blah, blah. Okay. Okay, now we got that out the way, I think. I think, I think, I think, I think, I think, I think. Okay, we have to like see. Okay, because child. Okay, hold on, y'all. Because I'm telling you, ooh, there's somebody named Goddess Fears. I'm telling you, I'm trying to figure this thing out. Okay? I know you guys are like, girl, you've been here this long and you still trying to figure things out? You must be nuts. Yeah. Hold on. See, it's still a lot of holding on, child. Okay, boom. Done. Okay. Okay, here we go. Ooh-wee. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the room. I'm still getting myself together, y'all. I came on here like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get to talking and do. Hey, James, how are you? How are you doing, beloved? And I'm calling you beloved over here because I haven't been over here in so long. It's been a long while since I've been over here. And James, okay, that's what's up. Even though I'm glad you're over here, I think I'm going to talk about perimenopause before I get to the yoga part. So I don't know if you are in the mood to listen, but if you would like to share this live to all the women who are, I would say, 35 and over, I would appreciate that very much because they might want to hear this part here. And I really am going to get into too much information. Before I do that, since it's so early, James, I have to warn you, babes. Before I get into it, so, you know, just jump back in, let me tell you who I am over here, which is crazy. My name is Vitamin. And my name makes up the initials BAD. So in another universe on YouTube, I'm called Shreebad. Okay, but over here I am Vitamin. Andrea. All right, that's my name. And in real life, I do personal training. I'm a yoga instructor. I'm a holistic health coach. Um, I'm not well known. I'm not super famous. I'm not making a whole bunch of money off of it. I'm not even doing everything that I need to do to get to that place and that space because I'm working on me. Okay. And I do suffer from depression. And right now I'm going through perimenopause. Okay. So it's like a whole new chapter in my life. Okay. And I do have a couple of clients here and there. Your worker might be interested. Okay. I hope they're listening. All right. Um, I've been teaching yoga for about 20 years. Okay. I've been doing personal training and group fitness for 10 and about 7 years, respectfully. Okay. So I got a lot of experience in that stuff there, which is crazy, but also amazing. I was a holistic health coach before becoming a personal trainer and a group fitness instructor, but was a yoga teacher for all of that. And I always had a knowledge of herbs, natural herbs, supplements, things like that. I was always into science. I worked at a couple places with a couple of well-known people here and there, especially in New York. Some people, they asked you about my experience in these things. Some people would say that I'm very gifted. Some people would say something else. It's okay. It's okay. All right. I'm not the best when it comes to editing and things like this. I should be going there, right? I should be getting there. I should be motivated to do that, right? I've had enough years. I did a lot. But my worst enemy has always been me and no one else. My worst enemy has always been me in many different ways. Okay? And since I was 11 years old, I played this dance of blood and ego. I grew up with the worst PMS, PMDD, and period situations. um, yes, I've gone through trauma as a child. Yes. Many different types of traumas. Yes. But even during the fruitful times, when I was doing well, when I was doing the classes and doing the workshops and, you know, talking here and talking there, and I was fully involved and da da da, I still had to deal with these, or with, not with these, but this dance of blood and ego. I had to like go through a whole lot with with this dance of blood and ego, child. What is the blood part? The blood part is my period, my menses, right? And as women, we all know what period problems look like. Okay? The entire womanhood is deemed unworthy because of the fact that she has a period. Okay? From the time I was young, I was told that this is a punishment because Eve sinned, or she made Adam sin, and as punishment, we had to have these periods here. Now, don't get me wrong. There are women out there in the world that have no period problems whatsoever. Okay? God bless them. And I'm not saying that in a sarcastic way at all. God bless them, because at least they exist, right? And if this is you during your menses, when you have them, I'll get to that in a second. Okay? But although I've had really bad period episodes to the point where I almost ended up in the hospital, or I couldn't go to the hospital because I was too busy cleaning sheets, because, in mattresses and all that good stuff, in crippling pain, and didn't even want to move to call anybody, emotional crying, all kinds of hormone changes. We know what it is, right? But for the longest time, it's been disregarded and demeaned and go take a Midol, or, dismissed. We've been gaslit for so long about our periods to a degree. It got to a point where women got sick of being around each other during their periods because, it looked like trauma bonding to a certain degree. A lot of times when a woman realizes that if she's around other women for too long, their cycles start to sink. I think that's when the breakage of society's views on your period kind of start to fade. All the gaslighting, and it's not really gaslighting. It's gaslighting because of misinformation or a lack of information. Not enough people back in the days, and I'm going back 20 years ago, not enough people 20 years ago knew enough about a period medically to handle it. You go to your gynecologist back in the days and be like, I got all these problems, my period is coming. They'd be like, yeah, take this, get a heat pack, and, you'll be all right. God bless you. Okay, good luck to you. And you left, just like whatever. Um, there's not a lot of period education. There's way more period education now. There's way more information on women's health now than there was 20 years ago. And I'd say that information has doubled. I feel like we got 40 years of information within the past 10 years, There's a lot of things that you can do to alleviate certain problems, but not all the problems get alleviated, And there's so many reasons as to why you may have menstrual issues, not just PMS and PMDD, but what causes that. Like, if you have fibroids, does that increase it? Endometriosis, all those other things that have to do with it, And it becomes a vast, vast sea of nothingness for a while. Like space. You can look at the sky and be like, oh, look at all these stars, not realizing that the closest star to you is about 365 years in the past. You're looking at it 365 years in the past. And it's so many light years away that in between that space between you and that star, there's a whole bunch of nothingness where you don't even know. You don't know what there's nothing. Nothing. It got to a point where you couldn't even go to many women and be like, yo, I'm going through these problems. Because they'll look at you and be like, yeah, me too. Well, how'd you deal with them? I just did, When I was doing what I needed to do as far as, teaching and all of that, I had to keep to a rigid schedule of supplements and teas and eating this way and breathing that way. And, yoga helped a lot with me and my period problems. It really did. Because in the dance of blood and ego, and our hormones go up and down, our emotional state changes, as women. Our emotional state changes, our mental state changes. Um, and that can fluctuate in many different ways as well. So yoga not only helped me with the physical ailments, but it also helped me mentally and emotionally. It helped me to calm my ego. It might have saved me from cussing somebody out, that didn't need to be cussed out because I'm in pain or I'm frustrated and, I can't really speak what's going on. Uh, no one could really help me at the time because I'm the person that everybody else came to when they had their period problems because, I was going through mine. But the issue with humans, okay? The issue with humans is that we are not infallible. We are not perfect beings. And therefore, the systems in which we use to heal will never completely cure us. Okay? The saying prevention is better than cure is not only for the physical aspects of health, but it's also for the mental ones because inevitably we are all going to pass on. None of us will live forever. Knowing what yoga brings, and before I go into that, let me get into this perimenopause real quick because my dance of blood and ego is way different now than it was before. Because now I'm going through something called perimenopause. 20 years ago, 30 years ago, there was no such word. I never heard that word 20 years ago. Okay? I heard that word maybe 10 years ago after, I went through what I went through. But before that, no. I never heard no word called perimenopause. What was that? Where was that at? It was you going through menopause. You are going through menopause. And this is what I mean by there's so much information out there nowadays. And, even today, people are still thinking archaically. I guess that's the best way to say it, right? So you go through your menstrual cycle, however it goes. Some women suffer from irregular periods. Some young women go through no periods at all, right? Um, Young women go through all types of things, even during the age of their menstrual cycle. Okay? They're supposed to be going through some kind of menstrual cycle. Everyone is individual. Every woman is individual. Every man is individual, right? Even though we share certain experiences that might be similar, in this world of illusion that we call reality, we are all individuals and we do go through things individually at a certain point in time to a certain degree. Okay? Everybody's story is unique to them because they are individually going through it. All right? I hope that's a better way to say it. So during a certain age, because even the ages vary, I can't even say from the age of 11, because some people be like, 11? Yeah, I could say the age of 8, right? But some women don't develop at 8. Some women develop at 16. And when I say develop, I mean the onset, the menarche, their first period, okay? So even that is individual at times. I could sit here and say I started my period when I was 11 years old, and another woman can say, hey, I started my period when I was 11 years old too, right? A third woman would say, I read a report that says that women that started their periods early, between the ages of 8 and 11, tend to go through more period problems. They go through menopause this way and that way and the third way. Really? Really? And me and the other 11-year-old menarche person could look at each other, and I'd say to that person, well, have you had period problems since your menarche? And she'd be like, nope, I had not a one. I'm good. I had no PMS, no PMDD, no this, no that. That shit come every month on the same day, clockwork, 30 days, baby. What? 28 days on February and 29 in the leap year, bitch. What you mean? Whereas I'm going through all the shit. Okay? I can skip a month. It can come twice in a month. It could do this. It could do that. And then you got the gynecologist telling you, well, all of it is normal. And you're just looking at him like, what you mean all of it is normal? Normal to who? Am I not an individual? Right? Becomes a nice little dance right there of blood and ego. So there's a certain age for your menstrual cycle. Then there is a transition period between your menstrual cycle and menopause. Okay? A lot of women will still be like, Shri, Vitavi, no. That is not true. It's just menopause, girl. No, darling. There is a perimenopause. Now remember, you're an individual. So if I tell you what the modern terminology that determines menopause is, right? And you went into a medically induced menopause, you're going to be different, definitely. Because I know a lot of women that went through a medically induced menopause. Okay? They were too young. They may have needed it. They may not have needed it. They got it, right? This is why I say a certain age I don't say from this age to this age. I say at a certain age, you're supposed to be here. And then at a certain age, you're going to be at perimenopause, okay? So before I get to perimenopause, let me get to what menopause is considered in this modern time. And you can look it up. Google is your friend, okay? Menopause happens when you do not have any form of a menstrual bleeding for 12 months straight. 12 months straight. No period. You are going through menopause. Okay? Got it? Got it. There's a period of time before that called perimenopause. It is real, all right? It's not make-believe. A lot of people thought all this other stuff was make-believe. Oh, a woman's just being irrational and emotional, where scientifically that during this time of the month, all kinds of things are going to fluctuate because we're pushing out eggs, right? So in between the time where eggs are regularly pushing out and eggs are no longer being pushed out, right, which is why you are no longer bleeding, you have this thing called perimenopause. Perimenopause can last up to 15 years. Between 10 and 15 years, you can go through perimenopause. You can go through it in a year, right? And then the next year, there is nothing, right? Perimenopause is a transition between going through your regular menstrual cycle and coming to the onset of menopause. Because there are certain symptoms that happen in menopause that generally may not happen when you have your menstrual cycle, right? Because during your menstrual cycle, there's a whole bunch of estrogen and this and boop the bap, the thyroid is popping, do. Now we getting older. The thyroid ain't gonna work the same. It ain't gonna pop out as much estrogen to do this and do that. We're going through that period of time. So during perimenopause, you can get your period for 3 months straight, right on time. And for 4 more months, you don't get shit. Or you just get a little spotting here and there. During perimenopause, instead of getting your regular period, whatever that was, you might just bleed super heavy for 4 days and then nothing for the next 2 months or the next month. But then something comes. If you had PMS or PMDD, which is premenstrual dysmorphic syndrome, dysmorphic disorder, PMDD, premenstrual dysmorphic disorder. Never forget that one, okay? That's premenstrual syndrome times 100 to 1,000,000, all right? Now, what's the difference between premenstrual syndrome and premenstrual dysmorphic disorder? Let's see. I'm just guessing now. I'm not even looking at Google or going through my books, which are right in front of me. Premenstrual syndrome is the symptoms that happen before the onset of your period. Anywhere from headaches, vomiting, bloating, nausea, joint pain, weight gain, headaches, dehydrated, dizzy, blah, list goes on here. Dry mouth, acne chain, you know what I'm saying? You get a whole bunch of pimples, your skin goes crazy, flare-ups, emotional outburst, uncontrolled emotional outburst, or, you trying to control them and it still don't work. All of that. Premenstrual dysmorphic disorder. Dysmorphic sounds like changes, right? Not only internal changes, but external changes. And it seems like a disorder, like it's so bad that you pretty much might need to go to the hospital to deal with this shit. And it happens every single time. Premenstrual dysmorphic disorder can happen before your cycle, during your cycle, and maybe a little couple of days after your cycle, right? And I'm not going to get on all the information that I have on, that stuff right there. That's for another day. We're going to focus on perimenopause, okay? Because with perimenopause, even if your period doesn't come that month, you still may catch certain symptoms like your period is happening. You might gain weight. You might get bloated. You might still get the acne chain, but nothing's coming out. And it just happens like that, right? Or you might get a little bit of spotting every month for a couple of months. And yes, I would advise you to go see a doctor just to make sure that's what's going on. But if you know you're at a particular age, you know what I'm saying, and things are happening certain ways, and you know that other than that, you're pretty healthy, there's no cancers going on or things like this. You know what I mean? You went to the doctor said, you're good. It really is, some perimenopausal type shit. Then I'm definitely talking to you. Okay? Because remember, everyone's an individual. And I can't speak for every single individual. There's way too many of you. So unfortunately, I got to group some folk together to get under a certain amount of time. Okay. But it's still a dance of blood and ego during perimenopause, because even if nothing's coming down, I still have to deal with the hormonal changes and the thyroids and the endocrine systems and the mental state and the emotional state and la la la. That ain't changing. Same old, same old. Even during menopause, where I go through that 12-month period of nothing coming down, there's still a lot of things I need to worry about. Maybe totally different from when I was getting my menstrual cycle. But in this transitional phase of perimenopause, I should be looking towards that other door. Like, okay, let me walk through that door with the best set of clothes on. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me take this transitional period to figure out how I want to be, how I want to look, how I want to feel, how I want to deal with this stage of my life moving forward, because I know I'm going to get to that phase at some point. There's days or months that I'm like, dang, can my period come back? And then when my period does come, it's like, child, this is crazy. I mean, I'm going through it right now. This is the second month that I've had my period. And before that, I didn't have my period for a couple of months. Maybe like 3-4 months. Yeah. I felt like it was coming down. I was going through all the things. I might have spotted here or there, and then after that, it was like one day of spotting, and then it was like, boop, gone. Gone. And I was like, what the hell is this? I'm still feeling bloated. I'm still, acne chain. I'm still having headaches. I'm still feeling fatigued. I still feel like I'm anemic. Speaking of which, I should make my tea right now. You know what I'm saying? Because it's going through me, child. If you're a woman and you're listening to this, like Niagara Falls, you know what I'm talking about. It's day 2, y'all. Day 1 for me, I usually catch the cramps and all of that. If I can function and move, then I will make sure I function and move. But day two is always Niagara Falls, all right? And I don't get a lot of sleep because I'll wake up like, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. All right? Yep, here we go. So I gotta go through that. After that, day 3, 4, whatever, it's all right. It's much more manageable. But the day 3 for me is really the mental aspects of shit, because day 3, I'm either coming into some sort of clarity on shit, or I still got a little bit of brain fog, and I gotta let me say by day 4, I'm good. Day 1 through 3, tough for me. When I have my female clients and they say, girl, I got my period, I'll be like, what day? What day? And, new clients will usually tell me the day. Oh, it's day 4. All right, bring your ass in. Okay. Clients that have been with me for a while, they be like, bitch, I'm on day 1. I can't with you. Okay. They already know. They don't even tell me the day sometimes. They just be like, look, I'm going through this. Okay, yeah. You ain't got to see me. It's all good. And then some be like, yo, I'm going through this. I'm still coming. You sure? Oh, okay. Shit, 1 or 2 days, I got to be like, child, listen, last month, I had to be like, hey, I got to take a day. I got to take a day. This is the first time this shit is here in 3 months, child. I got to take a day. Just one day. Can I get one day? And she was like, word? Okay, take a date. That shit's crazy. All right. And like I said, everybody is individual. Sometimes this period will make you upset with everything. You noticing everything. You nitpicking everything. You flipping on everybody. Sometimes it'll make you real reserved and quiet. For those of us who go through depression, it might bring more of that out. You know what I mean? You might be crying, oh, why am I going through this? Oh, yeah, my period is here. Okay. Right. And I've so far have had to learn how to navigate between those periods of time when I got my period and those periods of time when I don't have my period. Okay? And yoga has not been of much help this time around. Is it because of yoga? No. Yoga has nothing to do with it. Okay? I'm sure if I did whatever yoga I needed to do, I'd be in a better frame of mind. Child, I was doing early morning meditation a couple of months ago. That shit was on point. Okay? That shit helped me deal with the times where my period wasn't even coming. Because when the period wasn't coming, I was saying like, oh, am I going through this menopause shit? Is it going to come back? Right? But at the same time, I did the meditation that was on point. I started doing a little bit of dinacharya, which is my morning routine. That's on point. I still do that, right? And I wasn't really doing no postures. I still teach people yoga, child. I do like private sessions and stuff. But me personally doing it, I really wasn't doing. I really wasn't doing. I chose not to. And, it took me a while to figure out why. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if a certain pose would bring it down or make it stop coming, or I didn't know what the hell. I was in new territory. I didn't know whether I wanted to do vinyasa or hatha or yin yoga or just restorative yoga. Just sit on my bumba clot and do nothing, child. Because ain't that yoga too? No, that's boga. That's different. Okay? But I chose to do that. I chose to look at other things or focus on other things, aka depression. All right. And I went through that. And, I still go through that. It's okay. Because I'm getting back on my yoga business. But I've decided to get on my yoga business in a new way, to do a new dance of blood and ego. See, like I told y'all before, human beings are not infallible, right? We are not perfect. Nothing we create is 100% because we do not know what 100% truly looks like, right? I don't care about how much brain power we use. Okay, I'm not worried about that. 10% brain power, blah, blah, blah. I ain't worried about none of that. All I know is that we don't really know what 100% is. We know what, we could write that number down. Facts, 100, right? But for us to output 100% of whatever, no, we don't do it. We might do it in one way, we can't do it in other ways. Like, man, don't even, it's all good, right? Yoga is a wonderful science, okay? A wonderful science that deals with the ego in many different ways, okay? Before I get into this part of our dance with the ego in yoga, I need to remind you of something, okay? Yoga means union. It comes from the word yuj, which is bring together, bind. And depending on the person who you ask, if you were ever to ask a yogi or someone you feel that knows about yoga, well, what's unioning? What's unionizing here? What's coming together here? You get a whole bunch of answers. You get a whole bunch of different answers, child. Okay? You to get a whole bunch of answers. If I start writing down these answers, I'll probably give you 20 off the bat. I'm telling you. The mind, body, and the spirit, that comes together. The ego and the inner child and the soul, that comes together. The body and the this and the breath and the this, the heebie and the jeebie, the yin and the yang, the sun and the moon, the ha and the thaw. That is what comes together in the bird. Man, they all come to fuck together. Okay? Everything gets melded together if you're doing yoga the right way. Ain't nothing gonna be excluded in that motherfucker, okay? Everything is gonna turn into one, and then one will split right back into 2 and 3 and 5 and motherfucking 8 in a different way. Does that make any sense to you? I don't know if it did. My answer today, if someone was to ask me, what does yoga unionize? What does it bring together? My answer right now would be that yoga brings together everything. It brings it all into one. It melds it all together into one thing, so that when your one thing becomes 2 and 5 and 8 and 15 and 28 and 20 million, it'll look different than what it did when it was coming into oneness. It'll feel different. It'll sound different and smell different. And it might not be a bad thing. It'll just be a freeing thing, or, a better thing. Maybe not a better damn thing. Because there's a pro and a con to every damn thing. Right? This is the dance between blood and ego. Because ain't they the same thing? Your body needs blood to survive, right? Don't your body need blood to survive? Listen, the water benefits the blood. The food benefits the blood. When you pee, you're eliminating waste from your blood. Okay? We needs the blood to survive in our body, right? And in order for us to mentally function, we need this ego. We do. So even though yoga can unionize all kinds of shit, if any yoga teacher tells you, hey, yoga destroys the ego, you don't listen to them. They are lying to you. Yoga is not meant to destroy nothing. You're supposed to let those things fade away. They ain't got to be destroyed. They can be right there. They can be right there in your face. Yoga just teaches you that this thing that is here to destroy you is simply a distraction. And I can push it over to the side. I can run through it and break it apart. It could still be there. And it can regenerate on its own. It's what I feel and what I see and what I deem, what I give energy to, right? I can withdraw and restrain my energy, my ego. I ain't got to give it to every goddamn body. I ain't got to give it to this thing over here that may not be destroyed. This event that happened to me all these years ago that still traumatized me to this day, that has set me to be the type of person I am. I cannot destroy that event. It has happened already. I can't go back in time and change that event. I can't destroy that, right? But yoga is going to help me deal with it. Yoga is going to either help me to push it to the side and let me look forward and do what I do, or it's going to allow me to build that wall and say, hey, I ain't got to see this shit no more, and I'm good money. That's what yoga do. And even if my ego chose and was like, you know what, yoga, you get out of here. I'm going to do what I do. What is yoga going to do? Yoga can't do shit. Yoga can't beg, no plead, no nothing. Yoga going to sit there and wait for you to pick it up again. All right? And that might be what makes it perfect in its imperfections. Because yoga does have an imperfection. What is that, Shri? What yoga imperfection? What the imperfection is on yoga? The simple fact that we all die. The simple fact that with time, our bodies will degrade regardless. No matter what we do. That does not mean to sit on your ass and become a sloth. No. Not mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, in no way, shape, or form. That just means enjoy it as long as you can. And let's use yoga to do that. There's no way to destroy the thing that makes you an individual. Yoga is not here to destroy your ego. Okay? Yoga is here for you to become one with your ego, to have more of a relationship, a symbiotic relationship instead of a parasitic relationship, right? Where you work together at times, where you have enough control over your ego. If you ain't got control over nothing else, and maybe control is too strong of a word, you can restrain it. You can put it to sleep sometime. You tell it to calm down. Or sometimes you be like, yo, go ahead. Go, we gonna cuss this person out. We gonna do what we do. And that's it. That's what yoga do with your ego. Yoga cannot destroy this ego. And because yoga cannot destroy your ego, right? Yoga is not infallible. Because there are certain things that even yoga cannot control. Okay? I'll give you an example. Give you a great example. Yoga cannot cure the nature of addiction. I'll say it again. And I know there's so many people that are going to disagree with me. No, Shri, that's not true. You were an alcoholic and you do yoga and you don't drink no more. So it stopped you from doing that? No, that's bullshit. Okay? It's bullshit. Yoga cannot cure addiction, my friends. All yoga can do is give you a good transference. Okay? When it comes to the nature of addiction, all right? If you have an addictive personality, yoga cannot cure it. Yoga will not try to cure it. Because yoga also knows what karma is. Okay? Let me explain. A lot of people that go through addiction tend to have more than one type of addiction. Okay? It is a disease of the ego, in my humble opinion. Okay? It is. Now, I'm a recovering alcoholic. The last time I drank was almost a year ago for my birthday. Or maybe it was a little bit sooner. but it was very little amount. I had some uh, probiotic soda with it and icy, and it was like really small, you know. May have had two of those glasses, maybe. It was a big occasion. If it wasn't my birthday, it was somebody's birthday, something. It was so long ago. And this is why I call myself recovering, okay? Because I take long breaks from drinking alcohol, but I will drink once in a very blue moon, okay? It really has to be something going on, something special going on. Even if it's like a funeral type of thing where, we're going to celebrate this person, we're going to put the cup up, salute to them, take a shot or whatever, you know? Something like that. So I'm not cured, but I don't drink anymore because I can smoke weed. And what a lot of people don't know is that back in the 1920s, 30s, before weed was made illegal in the United States, there was a time where it was legal before now, in the 1930s and everything. And then all kinds of propaganda came and they made it illegal. Oh God, we can look that up, okay? But it was known from back then that, let me explain it this way. The cure for alcoholism back then, when weed was legal in the 1930s, was to make them smoke marijuana because the THC would bind to the alcoholic receptors in the liver, uh, giving you an urge to drink alcohol less. Okay? So some people would say that I actually transferred addictions. Okay? And to be more specific, I'm not exactly addicted to weed. I'm addicted to the tobacco that I smoke it in. If I got to be honest with myself. Um, don't ask me why I say that. Just trust me. Okay? Trust me. Um, yeah. And even nowadays, it's like I don't smoke as much as I used to, you know? I just don't. And I think I'm also coping with that, like dealing with that less. So if I'm smoking less, what am I gonna do? Because I'll tell you guys, marijuana really helped me through my menstrual journey. Okay? If it wasn't for marijuana, I would be so much worse than I was. I would have ended up in the hospital, all that stuff. Okay? It did ease my mind, and even though I did go ape shit, trust me, if I wasn't smoking, it would have been a lot worse. Um, but yeah, if you have an addictive personality, more than likely you can't have one addiction, you're going to shift to another. Okay? And that's even true with yoga. A lot of people might be like, what are you talking about? Listen, you know how many people that I know become addicted to meditation, become addicted to yoga? I got to do yoga every day because I got this anxiety, that anxiety, I got this going on, that going on. So I need to do it every single day, all night. It becomes like an addiction. I've met swamis, real life swamis, that were told at one point at their life or another, you meditate too much. It's like you're addicted to it because it's almost as if they're trying to escape the real world, just like you do when you take drugs, okay? Or when you have sex too much, when you're a sex addict or anything like that, right? You trying to escape, or you trying to fit in, or you trying to be, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people don't drink alcohol to escape. A lot of people drink alcohol so they can fit in. It loosens their inhibition so they can be more social and more, free to, you know, hey, The total opposite can happen with anything. Too much of anything makes you an addict. I learned that in a rap song, and then I learned it from a lot of smart spiritual people. Too much of anything makes you an addict. So, how can yoga cure you from addiction if you already have an addictive nature about you or an addictive personality? How can yoga cure that? Somebody would say, hey, Shri, yoga teaches us to do things in moderation. It does. It really does. It really does teach you to do things in moderation. But if you came from an era of excess and you don't know what balance even looks like, you're going to more than likely be an extremist. Okay? Either you're going to do too much or you're going to do too little before you get to that moderation stage, if you make it there. More than likely, you'll get to a negotiation stage instead of a moderation stage, right? Because moderation seems like perfection. That's why Buddhism is so tough for a whole bunch of people. The middle way, the middle path, moderation in everything you do, that's hard as fuck, man. That's like perfection right there. Are you crazy? Don't nobody like that. They like the yin and the yang. They like the, you know what I'm saying? The too much at this point in time, the too little at that point in time. Come on, that's what makes life spicy and shit. Don't nobody like the middle. The middle is boring as fuck. And it's hard. The extremes are easier. The mess, the drama, the solitude, you know? In middle ground, what do you mean? What are you talking about? Moderation? What the fuck does that mean? This is what your ego's saying. This is exactly what your moderation. What? The fuck are you talking about, bitch? The fuck you mean? Now let me give you another example of addictions in yoga, okay? Because yoga does not destroy the ego, okay? And there's something totally else that can shut the ego the fuck up, okay? And it's not yoga. It's not the science of yoga or the different yoga practices save one. And this practice is not only done in yoga, it is done in Tai Chi. It is done in most of these spiritual jammas that you know of, follow, or you know, have a aversion towards. And this is breathing, okay? These are breathing practices. What is called in Sanskrit pranayama, all right? Because you're dealing with life force, you're dealing with prana, you're dealing with chi. And one main vehicle of that prana, life force, and chi is your boogity breath, okay? I ain't talking about the hot breath that come out your mouth when you talk to people because you ain't brush your teeth. I ain't talking about that breath, okay? I'm talking about the breath that comes from the inhaling and exhaling of your lungs. All right? That's, my friends, when done efficiently and properly. I'm not going to say right. Because if you was doing breathing wrong, you'd be dead. All right? You just ain't doing it efficiently, effectively, and properly. Okay? Yes. Yes. So when you learn that, your ego calms all the way down. That is what can stop your ego from doing bullshit, right? So in your mind, you're not like, oh my gosh, I can quiet my ego. I'm not going to destroy it, but I can put it to sleep like a vampire for hundreds of years if I breathe this way and that way. Do you know you're not supposed to breathe all them ways all day, every day? There is a purpose for everything in this world. Yes, there is. If the right doses, in moderation. Yes. And I'm going to give you an example of that before I go. Going back to perimenopause. But let's keep it on the ego, right? So now you're like, well, I gotta do pranayama 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in order to calm down this ego. And let me ain't that an addiction right there? Your ego done won. Your ego won. That's an addiction right there. You're gonna do all the pranayama in the world, just try to stop your ego. And now you ain't doing nothing else but this pranayama here. Something that you're not supposed to do 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But here you go. Addicted. Addicted. Okay. Addicted. Now, I would love to go through this journey, well, this dance of blood and ego with you guys. I really would. I would love to cam up and, show y'all, different wellness ways to navigate through this dance of blood and ego, no matter what stage you're in, right? Why am I asking you? Right. I'm telling you, that's what I want. I want to do that. I want to do it. Is it going to happen? I don't know. I'm just being honest. We might have to stick to this for a little bit until I figure things out, until I clean up this area. Okay? I would really, really love to help you to understand this dance between this dance of blood and ego in its many phases and forms. Now, here's a little tidbit that I learned that you guys might be interested in. One of the main bad guys in health news and all of that is cortisol. I'm sure you've all heard about this stress hormone called cortisol. It is the end all be all of evil hormones, and too much of it will kill us. It'll hurt us so bad, and it'll make us booty wet, right? Did you know that in recent perimenopausal studies, it has come to be realized that cortisol is the hormone that helps you to wake up in the morning? You need cortisol to wake up, mama. Yes, you do. You need a little stress in your life. Dang! Just a smidgen, just enough for you to wake up and start your day. And then after that, you need it to go away. Yeah. So we can't get rid of all the cortisol, baby. Just like you can't get rid of carbs. I gotta stop eating carbs. No, baby, you need carbs because it gives your cells energy. The problem is you need different ways to process that sugar, with insulin and all that. Your pancreas might be messed up, or you might have something else going on in there. You eating the wrong type of carbs and it's not benefiting you any, right? It might be a whole bunch of things like that. But you need carbs, baby. Well, I can't have no cholesterol. No, baby, you need cholesterol. You do, because you need a little bit of fat to keep your body temperature on point. You just don't need bad cholesterol. You need good cholesterol. You know what I'm saying? That's what they telling you. You can't say I can't have none. You just gotta have the good shit. Well, I don't want no fat. No, baby, you need fat. You need a little bit of fat. We got a body fat percentage. And like I said, we got to regulate the hormones with heat, and we got to regulate our body temperature and all that. especially for women, because we get the menses every month or whatever's going on every month, right? So you need fat, you need carbs, and you can't have too much protein because too much protein turn to fat, baby. But you need a good amount of protein, though, right? And now I just found out we need a little bit of cortisol too. This is a crazy dance of blood and ego. I need a little bit of cortisol to get my blood pumping, which is a stress hormone that stresses out my ego, right? Oh, Lord. All right, I've been on here for an hour and 5 minutes. I think that's it for me. I think I have spoken as much as I needed to on this platform about this thing. Y'all pray for me, okay? Um, like I said, I'm still in day 2, and I gotta go to work a little bit later. Thank goodness I go to work late today. Today is September 11th, so we supposed to be honoring the World Trade Center over here. It's been a long time since that happened. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, God bless the people who didn't make it. God bless all of us who did make it. It was kind of crazy. Yeah, that's what I'll say about 9/11. Rest in peace to Frankie Beverly. He passed. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I like this title, Dance of Blood and Ego. I tried to do crow pose the other day. Didn't work out. All I gotta do is keep practicing though. I get muscle memory. But even now, I tend to go towards yin yoga. Yin yoga and me riding my bike made my period come down. Awesome sauce. I will be continuing this in the future. Okay? I think I need to do an article on riding a bicycle in your cycle because, like, a lot of times me riding my bicycle has made my period come down when it didn't need to. I know there's articles on there about it, but I just chapel. Okay? Anywho, thanks for listening, James. Thanks for typing. I appreciate you. Um, I'm gonna get more into the medical aspects of perimenopause, menopause, and the menstrual cycle. I also want to talk about Ozempic, y'all. Dang, I forgot all about Ozempic. Child boo. Okay, these people cray. All right, and I'm talking about the Real Housewives of Dubai. Child, I found out that these women, skinny as they are on Ozempic, not Wegovy. Ozempic, like, what? Y'all are bugging. Like, they wildin', y'all. They wildin'. Ain't nothing wrong with staying active in real life. You hear me? I'm trying to tell you. Child, let me charge up my phone. Hold on. Whew. See what I mean? You getting brain fog. You like, what? What's going on? What time is it? What is this? And I still have things to do. So yes, let me charge up this phone. Let me make these calls and do what I'm doing. And I will talk to you guys later. You have a great day. I'm gonna go on my other page too and talk more caca shit. So have a great one. Bye bye.